Hello and welcome to Hibs TV for a very special evening in the UEFA Europa Conference League. We've already been treated to some memorable performances in this competition, but tonight will be an even harder test for Hibs as we face Unai Emery's Aston Villa. And to commemorate a very special evening, we like to have special guests on this show as well. I'm delighted to be joined by Hibernian FC forward Harry McKirdy. Harry, how are you?
Yeah, feeling good, cheers.
Fantastic. Well, tonight's game, obviously we've seen the Luzerne goals already at the top of the show. That's really set up a stellar evening, hasn't it, when we play Aston Villa this evening?
Yeah, I think these are the nights that you want to be playing in when you're a footballer, and they're the nights that the fans want, and just hopefully it can be as special as the last few weeks have been.
Yeah, looking back at the Luzerne games, obviously two fantastic performances. The one here, obviously winning 3-1, and then a really gritty performance that we had to put in out in Switzerland.
Yeah, I think European football's a lot different, and you just have to do what you've got to do to go through. And I think the first game against, I don't know who it was against, it wasn't pretty, and then they turned it around second leg, and it's been a lot of momentum built since then in Europe. And obviously tonight will be really tough, but hopefully they can produce something from somewhere and make it a special night.
I mean, you've been involved in ties down south in England when you've played against what people perceive as higher level opposition when budgets are completely different. What's your mentality going into those games? You scored against Man City, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's different though, because you've got no chance against them. So you can't be going into tonight just trying to enjoy it. And well, you need to enjoy it, but there's got to be a bigger picture than it. Then I don't think there's as much difference budget-wise as there would be between Swindon and Man City. So they need to compete. It's going to be tough, but you just need to do what you're good at, ride your luck, and hopefully some of the boys that higher up in the pitch can produce some magic and just try and keep you in it to go to Villa Park. I think Stevenage knocked Villa at the FA Cup last year at Villa Park, so it is possible to do, but you just need to not give anything away and make it as tough for them as possible.
Yeah, and obviously there'll be an incredible atmosphere inside Easter Road. Tickets sold out within 40 minutes of going on general sale. You've played here, obviously, in big games. What is that like, and how does that spur you on as players?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Suddenly a big club come and everyone wants to come. I don't think it was as busy on Sunday for Raith Rovers, but these are the ones that everyone wants to come to, and the atmosphere will be good. And it's just about keeping the atmosphere good for as long as they possibly can. You need to start well and just try and get little moments, win corners, have shots on target, stop them scoring, just to keep the fans as loud as possible for as long as possible, because the longer they do that, obviously they'll have a much better chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big stories for tonight's game, especially within the Scottish media, is obviously the return of John McGinn to Easter Road. He played here a few years back. Now, what will that be like for him?
I don't know. You probably have to ask him after the game. I really don't know. I think he was loved there, and he certainly loved at Villa, and obviously he's had an amazing career. And I don't know, to be honest. Like, really don't know.
Yeah, he's obviously a very talented player, but equally, I mean, you look across the whole squad. They've got a World Cup winner in goal, for example, England international up front. It's so talented, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think they bounced back on the weekend. I think they battered Everton, and it'll be interesting to see what they do, like rotation wise. And I don't know, they'll obviously be expected to win, and I think they'll be expecting to win comfortably. So whether they rotate or not, I'm not quite sure, but I don't know, it'll be interesting. Whoever they play, they'll have a 20-25 man squad who are probably majority all internationals, and they'll be top players, so it doesn't really matter who they're playing. It's going to be tough.
How much will mentality play a part in tonight's game for both teams, for our players, like they had to do in Switzerland to kind of dig in and show that character, but for Aston Villa as well, not to almost have a sense of complacency about them?
Yeah, I think the Swiss team, it was different because obviously they're not nowhere near the level that Villa are. There was probably a relatively same level as Hibs were, and we done well. We rode the luck in the first leg, and then gone in there with a 2-goal advantage, and at least produced some magic at the beginning. So I think you got 80 odd minutes left and you're 3 goals up, so it's a lot different to what it's going to be tonight. But I think if it was in November, December, it'd be a lot different, and you was coming in and the pitch wasn't great and it was freezing, and and it's snowing and stuff, but I don't think Scotland is intimidating to come to in August, so the crowd are going to have to be up for it, and I think the players are going to have to show their gritty side, because if they just let them get hold of the ball, then they're going to enjoy themselves. The pitch looks great, and it could be a very long 8 days.
Yeah, hopefully not. Well, we're going to have a quick look now back at the Wraith Rovers win on Sunday. Let's have a look at those goals.
Bumping and boring going on in the 6-yard box. Corner comes in. It's in the net! Ellie Yuan it is! Lovely delivery by Joe Newell. And Ellie Yuan gets himself in there ahead of anyone else. 8 minutes gone, a goal apiece. As we say, in the interim, Adam Lafondre replaced by Dylan Vente. Yuan's inside the box, chance here. Vente straight on the field and straight into the back of the net.
Beautiful ball from Lewis Stevenson across. Great little touch from Ellie Yuan. Lewis Miller, another good pass, and that's what Vente's here for, to score goals for.
Well, we just saw the goals from the Wraith Rovers game just then. Harry, obviously you were watching the game. How important was firstly the squad rotation to give everyone minutes, and then of course the win providing that extra little bit of momentum?
Yeah, obviously every footballer wants to play games, and that's why you're here, that's why you're a footballer. So it's nice for the boys to get minutes that haven't really been getting minutes, and I don't know, cup football's cup football, and it doesn't really matter how you play, it's about winning. And I think if you went on to win it in whenever the final is, April, May, you're not gonna think back on how we played against Wraith Rovers. It's about winning football games. I came here last year and we was already out, so I think I played one cup game where we lost at Hearts. So it's progression. And I don't think this cup's actually that many games away from getting to Hampden, so it's purely about winning the game of football.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I suppose for you at the minute, it's been quite difficult, hasn't it? Obviously, an occasion like tonight, not being able to be involved. What was that like for you, that moment where they found something in your heart? Were you worried about your career? Were you worried about what was the thought process?
Yeah, it didn't really feel real, to be honest, because obviously I felt fine. I'd been trained in pre-season. I felt good in pre-season. I think I'd came back sharp and was fit. So it's just something you don't expect to find, and luckily they have found it, because I've got it fixed now. And I think it was more of a scary time for my family and the people around me, because they have to be with you and stuff, and see you go have the surgery, etc., and spend a lot of time in hospital. But I don't know, you have to just look at the bright side, and I think there's been footballers recently that has had a lot scarier moments than me, where they break down on the pitch and stuff. So just thankful that it didn't get to that stage and they found it before, and it was as calm as it could have been, really, and I'm feeling good now. So
yeah, and it's been just over a month obviously since that surgery took place. How are you feeling within yourself now?
Yeah, a lot better. Obviously with the surgery, I end up on a lot of drugs and stuff, so I think it's been nearly a week now off the drugs. I'm starting to feel a lot better. I have a lot more energy, and yeah, just feeling like a normal human again. It's nice to be out of hospital and I'm back to a bit of a routine, and I'm looking forward to being able to get in a gym and do stuff again and get training, and hopefully feel like a little bit of a footballer again soon.
Yeah, what was the club and your teammates like during that time? I imagine, especially in the dressing room, they were really supportive of you.
Yeah, well, it was a different time. Obviously, I found out on a Saturday. I think it was the first pre-season game. We came in, had scans, and I found out. And I didn't really see anyone for 6 weeks. It was 5 weeks in London, 5.5 weeks there. So the boys are away in pre-season, and then they come back and start the season. So I think that is just football, really. You're injured, and that's just how it goes. Like, on to the next. A football team's job is to win football games, and if you're not available to win football games, then you're not much used to them. But I had the great support in the hospital and stuff, in the hotel, and I had my family and friends around me, and I think it's probably a tougher time for them than it was for me, and I was getting looked after, so I'm feeling good now, and just thankful that it all went well.
Yeah, it's really good news that you're feeling much better. We'll continue to talk to Harry and hear, of course, from our manager Lee Johnson just after this short break.
Simplexity Travel is made up of some of London's leading bespoke travel managers. Simplexity specialise in luxury travel services for corporate and private clients, groups and individuals who lead busy lives. Simplexity will simplify challenging schedules and complex trip itineraries, ensuring our clients always travel with complete peace of mind and in perfect luxury. Simplexity Travel, making luxury travel simple.
Hello and welcome back to Hibs TV as we build up to a massive night of European football here at Easter Road. One man that's certainly excited for tonight's game is our manager Lee Johnson. Let's hear his thoughts ahead of this game. Lee, obviously a huge match tomorrow night, a huge occasion on the European stage against a good side in Aston Villa. How excited are you ahead of this one?
Yes, the whole place is excited. It's exactly what we've wanted to achieve and wanted to do on a regular basis, and you know, like, this is it. This is why I came here. This is why players come here. This is what we sell to the lads. You know, it's a change for fans. It's a sellout Easter Road under the lights. You know, it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. We've got to turn up. We've got to make sure we perform. We're against a top class, a world class opposition. You know, English Premier League is one of the toughest in the world, and Aston Villa, rightly so, had a fantastic run to earn their right to be in this competition. So top players, a very athletic team, and obviously a very successful manager. But this is a great chance for us to put our club on the map a little bit, but also test ourselves against the best in the world.
How do you approach this first leg? Is it all about the atmosphere, the style, making Aston Villa feel uncomfortable?
Well, I think our supporters play a massive part. You know, we need that encouragement. Every action needs to be applauded, and they will. You know, this is a big night for all of us. You've got so many various narratives that go with a night like tomorrow night. So, you know, it's our job to make sure that we really stay steely focused on the performance element, that players make really good decisions and they have absolute concentration, because if you don't, the level of Aston Villa and the quality that they've got will pick you off. So really important factor for us is to enjoy it, to believe massively in ourselves and the performance levels that we can get to, but then we've got to bring our best.
How important is the first section of the game and making sure the players aren't overawed by the atmosphere, the competition or the opponent?
Yeah, and it's something that we've worked on and we've discussed. You know, we are quite good in those sort of 25-minute blocks, in the sense of the mindset and the focus. So, you know, obviously we've got a top opposition and they'll have their ideas on how that first 25 minutes needs to go. But it enables you to settle as any player, and if you're in flow, feeling good, your first couple of touches are good within that 25 minutes, it can really carry you forward for the whole 90.
Yeah, just finally, before I go on to team news, what's your message been to the players ahead of this one?
Just believe, you know, it's really a strong feeling that we've earned this opportunity. We've worked really, really hard to get here. You know, it was a topsy-turvy start to the season, and now we're in a very good place very early in the season. Last year, you know, to drive that standard to just get up to fifth, and build the squad out and, you know, seduce players to come to the club is really important as well. And part of that story was this game. So we've now proved, so when we're talking to new recruits and when we're trying to push our young players through and develop them to become top players, all these experiences are good for the football club. Even the organisational piece of having to turn around the games very quickly. I think we sold out within like 20 odd minutes of this game, and that has a big effort been put in as well from everybody behind the scenes, and I thank everybody for that, particularly at Easter Road, that have had to deal with this onslaught And it's good, and that's what we've got to get used to. We've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, both on and off the pitch, and that will drive our standards moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of team news, I wanted to start with Dylan Levitt. How's he? Obviously, he's had a few scans over the last few days.
He's good. It's the best case scenario, so the injury is more to the capsule than it is to the ligament, which means once the swelling settles down, he should go back to normal pretty quickly. We're hoping to have him available after the international break. He may even potentially go away with Wales if selected within that period. So, yes, we want to look after him, but at the same time we want to use that space to get him back to full fitness.
Absolutely. And in terms of the other players as well, obviously Dylan Venti had a bloody nose after the Wraith Rovers game, and Jake Hayes, I believe, is working his way back.
Yes, Jake's trained the last couple of days, which is good news. Obviously an Aston Villa academy product, and so he's very hungry and motivated to get back to full fitness there, and Dylan was just a little welcome to Scotland.
Absolutely, Lee, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Well, we just heard from our manager Lee Johnson just there. Harry, how do you expect him to be setting up for the game tonight?
That's a tough one to answer. I don't really know. I think he's mixed it up quite a few times over the last 12 months or so. So it could be anything. I don't think it's ideal for the Villa analysis staff that looked at it. I've seen Guinea say the other day that he walked past the room and saw 10 people looking at it, and I think they'll have to, because it could be anyway. And I think different formations will cause different threats for them, and no one really knows what we played, so that'll be interesting to see when the team gets announced.
Yeah, what have the players been like ahead of this one?
I struggle to answer that. I've been in once for blood test last Tuesday, so I'd say excited and probably nervous, but good nerves. And you want to do well tonight. Tonight's the night that you can get remembered from the Hibs fans. It'll go down in history if you win it, and a few of them might be hoping to nick a move. Probably not Joe Newell. I don't know if he'd go or not. That would be tough for his loyalties. But yeah, they're the games that you want to play in, and regardless of the setup formation, it's going to take all 11 of them and the sub just to be at it and have the game of their lives. And hopefully, if they'll have a little bit of an off game and the boys can turn them over.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Harry, thank you very much for joining us. We've got a special guest coming up in just a few moments' time as well. But let's hear from Joe Newell. As Harry said, he's really looking forward to tonight's game, seeing if he can get one over on his local rivals.
Joe, thanks for joining us. A massive week ahead. How excited are you for Wednesday night?
Yeah, really excited. Obviously a massive game, a huge occasion, so yeah, I've done all our preparation and ready to go.
It's been a kind of frantic few weeks start to the season. What have you made of the European run so far?
It's been brilliant, really enjoyable. Some really good special nights I think we've had so far. Yeah, as it's been probably the busiest start to the season I think I've ever had as a player. So it'll be the same for a lot of the lads. So it's been tough trying to manage it. Obviously, I haven't been anywhere near where we want to be in the first two league games, but the result on the weekend in the cup was important. Obviously, that's something we want to get far in this year. Obviously, to win a cup will be massive. So that was important. But yeah, obviously these European nights have been really special so far. So enjoying it. Yeah.
How have you managed the workload in terms of the fitness? How are your legs feeling trying to play that kind of Thursday, Sunday?
Yeah, it has been tough. We've hardly trained, to be honest. Since the season started, with the 3 games every week, there's hardly any time to train. So a lot of it's just been recovery days, a lot of meetings, and in that respect, in terms of getting the tactical information over in meetings rather than doing stuff on the training ground, because you just have to try and recover as best you can. So that's been tough and something new, but it's where we want to be, isn't it? We compete every year to get into Europe, so yeah, we're not going to moan when we're here.
Looking ahead to Wednesday night, it's a sold out crowd at Easter Road. How much will that make a difference to you guys on the pitch?
Yeah, a lot. I've had some special nights and some special days at Easter Road so far this year, last season, this kind of squad that we've got together now. It will be special. It's a sell-out Easter Road night game, European football. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Does it make it extra special given your connection to Birmingham? I know it's a city you know very well, to play a team like Aston Villa.
Yeah, obviously it's a little bit on it for me. Being from down there, and I've had a lot of messages and stuff from people who I grew up with and my mates and family and stuff. So yeah, it'll be a big night. But no, I'm not trying to think of it too much.
Just finally then, with it being such a big occasion on Wednesday night, what do we need to do to make sure that we put out a good performance?
It's going to be hard, isn't it? Listen, they're top side, a massive club. You can go into, I don't know any details in terms of finances and stuff, but we're a million miles away from them. But like I say, it's going to be a sellout at the stadium. We're an exciting team so far in Europe. We've scored goals. We need a solid foundation. We need a good game plan. We need everyone 7, 8 out of 10 with a few exceptional performances. You need a bit of luck. You need all these things to go your way if you want to get a result against these top sides. So yeah, we'll be set up well, and we will obviously try our hardest.
Top man Joe, all the best.
Thank you.
Well, we promised you a special guest, and here is the man, Des Bremner, obviously former Hibernian and Aston Villa player, club legends at both. Des, how much are you looking forward to tonight's game?
Well, it's a game I never expected to ever have to come and watch, to be fair. It's great, it's a European tie, and obviously they're always important games, one-off games, you could say, to a certain extent, even if there is a two-leg. So I'm really looking forward to it, and you know, I'm not taking any sides. I'm not going to make any predictions on how the game's going to go. But I just said earlier, it's going to take Villa a wee bit of time to adjust to the pitch. Yeah. You know, they don't play that sort of surface down in England at all. So it'll be interesting to see how the first 15-20 minutes go.
Yeah, and you'll obviously be bringing the match ball out ahead of today's game as well. How nice is it to be back at Hibs and Easter Road?
Oh, it's great to be back. I mean, I was back about 3 or 4 years ago, but it was a great opportunity I was given by Hibs in '72 to join a club, and obviously at that time we had a decent team at that time, compete with the Rangers and Celtics, and won 1 or 2 cups, the Driver Cup and whatever. But it was a great time for me, and a great bunch of lads at the time as well. So obviously I'll be able to see 1 or 2 of those that will be at the game tonight, hopefully, as well.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them will be. What are your favourite memories from your time here with Hibs?
It's just, obviously I had a baptism in a European tie. I was barely in the first team after about 2 or 3 months at the club, unfortunately. John Brownlee broke his leg, so I was next in line. And our first European tie, the Cup Winners' Cup, I think it was against Hajduk Split. They were a top team at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're probably still a very good team at this moment in time as well. And we gave a good account of ourselves, but obviously we got knocked out by them. So that was an early baptism as far as European football was concerned for me.
Yeah, and then obviously when you went on to Aston Villa, you had great European success.
Yeah, well, again, I'd been at Hibs for 7 years, and I had a word with the manager and said, look, I need a new challenge. And unfortunately for me, him and the chairman agreed that I would be given an opportunity, but it wouldn't be a Scottish club I'd be going to. It would be England, and thankfully Aston Villa came to watch me against Celtic. I think it was one game against Celtic. We actually got beat 3-0, but I got the opportunity to go down and talk over the possibility of a move, and I haven't looked back since then. You know, and it's like a fairy tale really as far as that's concerned. They are barely a couple of seasons, win the league and qualify for European Cup, which was a great achievement for the club in itself. Not knowing it, another season on we were European Cup winners. It was fantastic, and then obviously the following season the Super Cup. So yeah, I've been very fortunate as far as success was concerned at Villa, but it's been my footballing career at both Hibs and and Villa, and then beyond that to Birmingham City. It's been fantastic.
It's absolutely incredible story. Obviously European nights as well, they have a different feel about them, don't they? I'm sure as a player you felt that, and then watching games, will tonight have that extra little bit of edge?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's as I say, it's a game I never expected to come and watch. A European tie between Hibs and Aston Villa. You know, maybe a friendly or whatever pre-season, something like that. But a European tie, albeit it's the European Conference Cup. But it'll be interesting to see how the Villa can adjust to this pitch. And you know, I suppose it's down to the Hibs to take early advantage and try and get something from it early on. And if we can get an early goal, it'd be a very interesting game then.
It's not just the pitch as well that'll probably have an impact. The stadium will be completely packed out, sold out. If the Hibs fans can create a raucous atmosphere at the start, I suppose that'll spur Lee Johnson's side on even more.
Well, you'd like to think so. I mean, they've got the bulk of the crowd. I think Villa have got 1,000 or just over 1,000 tickets.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure they'll make themselves heard. But, you know, as you say, if the fans can get behind the club here tonight, that'll spur them on, I'm sure.
Yeah, they absolutely will. Well, Des, thank you very much for joining us. That's all we have time for. So hopefully the Hibs can do it and progress and go to the second leg at Villa Park with some kind of advantage. Thank you very much for watching.